Hi, and welcome to SimpleSpiritualityPH. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Regine. I am an intuitive, manifesting-based tarot reader. I am a certified Reiki healer and an overall lightworker. And before we dive into today's episode, I would like to invite everyone who would like to receive notifications of my new videos to please hit the subscribe button over there. If you like this video later on, please give it your thumbs up. If you have any comments, suggestions, you want to say hey, please do comment them down below. And if you would like your very own tarot reading or Reiki healing session with me, online for now, of course, here are the details. Alrighty, so let's get to the meat of the video. Now today, as you can see, you guys, I have a bare face on. I tried to do my hair, but it's not actually coming out the way I wanted to. I wanted to have like a little braid here that goes all the way up to the back. But it is what it is. So yeah, so today is actually going to be a kind of like a get ready with me. Actually, it's not just a kind of like, it is a get ready with me. But my mirror is actually here, it's not in front. So you're gonna have to bear with me, and you're gonna have to bear with that mess over there. I will get to it, you know? So let's get to it. The first thing I usually do when I do a get ready with me, or when I do my makeup, not a get ready with me, is, well, first thing really is concealer. But I'm going to keep it really just low-key today because I'm going to film after this also. So I usually use the Instant Rewind eraser. I think I'm going to do a little bit today, just a little bit. So I'm going to use a little bit of that. This is my mirror, by the way. So it's perched up here. Maybe I can put it down here so you can see more of my face, you know, and I can hide some of that stuff over there. But anyway, so this is the first thing that I do. And I'm not a professional makeup artist, as you guys may tell. You probably can tell, but when I was in college, you guys, I used to be in the choir, and we were a semi-professional choir, which meant that we actually had to go on, what do you call this? We had to go on a lot of performances, usually, and we earned money because when you're semi-professional, you earn money. At least that's what I understand. So we were a semi-professional choir. We were the official choir of my university, and we went on tour a lot of times. We had a lot of performances, especially during Christmas. We'd have performances every day, being a full-time student every day, and still doing performances at night every day, almost. And that meant that I had to learn about makeup from a very young age. Well, not too young because I was in college already. Let me just go get my sponge, you guys. Okay, so I patted that down. I patted my, what do you call this again? My foundation. And I'm going to use powder today. I usually will go with foundation if it's a regular, like, if I'm going out or something like that. And usually when I do my videos as well, I use foundation, but today we'll keep it simple. You know, I'm going to use it broke. I'm going to use the Physicians Formula multicolored pressed powder. So I actually bought this while I was in New York. I realized that I had forgotten the powder that I use. I forgot it here in the Philippines, and so I went to Dwayne Reed and just got like the one that was very the multi one, the one basically where you can use up until your neck. So I'm a very oily person. My face is very oily. And because it is oily, I never grow old. That's just the thing, you know. I think that's really the key to why a lot of homegrown Asians, you know, like homegrown Asians, and I say homegrown because it's really, I believe at least, you know, I could be totally wrong with this, but my observation has been, it's part of your genes, of course, and at the same time, it's also part of the environment. So here, I was born and raised in the tropics, right? I'm an Asian. I'm Filipina. I'm a proud Filipina. And I was born in the tropics. And so my skin has never seen a dry day. apart from when I would go to New York in winter, where I actually need globs and globs of moisturizer to feel that my face is hydrated and drinking, you know. But my skin has never seen a dry day, and because of that, every time I tell people that I'm 33 years old, they don't believe me. My classmates right now in culinary school do not believe me when I say I'm 33 years old. They tell me I look 25, they tell me I look 27. I'm like, whatever age, I'm sure it's younger than what I really am. So my oiliness actually preserves my face, I think, and it makes it dewy. I don't need to use highlighter. Sometimes I just like, you know, don't even put highlighter on the areas that I want to go, and it keeps it feels very good and hydrated. But I still use moisturizer at night. So I put my powder, and I'm gonna like brush my eyebrows. I really do this systematically, and you know, again, like having been in a choir for so long has really allowed me to do, like I can do this entire routine in 10 minutes, you guys, actually 5, and in the dark, like no mirror, you know, because sometimes what we would do, especially during Christmas time, so let's go back to my college days, especially during Christmas time, we would be, so imagine it'd be, so I'm just gonna outline my brows. So imagine it would be December. We just finished classes, like some of us just finished classes, and we have an engagement. We have an event at, let's say, for example, let's say at a hotel, you know, at the Peninsula or something like that, Peninsula Manila or something like that, which is roughly around 9-10 kilometers away from where our school was. And so even though we had time in the car, we wouldn't have light. You know, we wouldn't have light, like we wouldn't be able to see ourselves really well. So we really had to rely on like the sense of touch to just gauge how much eyeshadow we're putting on, how much what do you call this? Yeah, how much eyeshadow we're putting on, how much blush we're putting on. Is this foundation, you know, like what do you call this? Is this foundation enough, you know? And it would always just work, you know. What we do is we'd put on the base, we'd put on the lipstick, we'd put on whatever we were confident to put on, and then just do like a touch-up when we arrive. Because once we arrive, it would usually be just go, you know. It would be like, oh, we're already here. We gotta go on stage already, right? And that was usually the case. We would also all dress up in the car. The boys would be kind enough to close their eyes whenever we would dress in the car, I remember, because they were gowns and stuff like that. They'd all just close their eyes if we were riding with some of the guys. And they just tell us, I was looking for this. Oh, so what I used was the Teviant eyeshadow, Teviant Brow Mate pen in medium brown to line my eyes, but that was my eyebrows. And this time I'm using the Etude House Drawing Eyebrow in, what is this shade? I can't read Hangul, I'm so sorry. Yeah, but it's almost the same shade. So anyways, yeah, we would just run to the, when we arrived, we would usually just run to the room, you know, look at ourselves in the mirror, and then it would be go time, usually. Like, it would be 1 minute to going on stage because it would be traffic, you know, so we just had to rely so much on intuition. And I can see that my eyebrows are cousins, not sisters. I'm totally fine with that. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna try to keep it on a low down here, not so much, but I kind of just want to fill that in a little bit. So yeah, that would be the situation, and we would dress up in the car, and the boys would be really kind enough to close their eyes while we were dressing up, you know, so that the ladies could just, you know, like take off all the clothes and everything like that. Not all the clothes, we leave our underwear on, but yeah, if you're a performer in that situation, you know, imagine it like there would be 4 people in a sedan type car, and you'd be doing your makeup, everyone would be changing clothes, you know, even the men would change clothes, the women would change clothes as well. That's a situation. And whenever the guys would change clothes, I remember we'd also close our eyes, and then they'd just tell us that, they were done, and then that's when we'd open our eyes. So that was where my love of makeup really came from. And I'm seeing that I have a couple of stray brows. I want to tweeze them right now, like I'm getting irritated by the sight of them. I usually won't do this, but I don't want to put it off. So I'll just tweeze them a little bit. I don't pull out hair from within the line of my eyebrows, my eyebrows. Well, all my eyebrows are natural. I haven't had like anything done to them. But I will clean it up. Like the rogue, I don't know if you can see, but if I have like rogue lashes, rogue brows, I just clean them up a little bit. I won't touch the exact shape, the actual hair on the line of it. I will just clean it up, just around it. So that's one thing. And I actually have manifested myself to have great eyebrows, like the shape, great eyebrows. So that's what we're doing. You know, sometimes you don't really, so here's like a spiritual tip. So I tell you guys that manifesting is for everything, right? We manifest whether we like it or not, and we can't really turn it off. So that's the thing. I always use it to my advantage. I will manifest, like I said, I've manifested my eyebrows were not like this in the past, you guys, and even my eyelashes, to the point that I don't even wear mascara anymore. I did not used to have lush eyebrows, but I would always imagine myself, like the part of it that I consciously manifested, what I did to consciously manifest it, basically, was every time I would do my eyebrows, I would imagine my eyebrows to be really thick and lush, right? And I would also imagine my eyelashes to be thick and lush, because back then, when I was still in the choir, when we were still performing, we needed to put on mascara, because let's say, for example, well, regardless of whether you're performing for a large crowd or a very like small crowd, you always still need to put on makeup because your features will be very faint from the crowd's perspective. Even if the crowd is just like 5 people in front of you, you still need to put that on. You still need to emphasize the features of your face. Like, people need to know you have eyes. People need to know you have like, not need to know. But like the common thing for people to see, right, would be that you have eyes, you have eyebrows, you have eyelashes, just really kind of like emphasize those. So big or small, regardless of how many were in the crowd, in the audience rather, we needed to do the whole works, like the works, So I think that's good. How do my eyebrows look? I think that looks fine, right? So next, after this, I would usually go in with an eyeshadow. Now, eyeshadow, so like I said, right, during performances, we would always have makeup on, and we always needed to go like the extra length to create that type of illusion that our features are more prominent and more like out there, right? There was still a boundary though. Like, for example, during the day, if it was a daytime performance, we wouldn't necessarily put on a smoky eye, We would always put on something that was lighter than the ones for the evening. But we would have days when we would have performances in the morning, the afternoon, and in the evening. And so for that, I would usually do a neutral smoky eye. Neutral meaning a brown color palette. The color palette of the nudes, from the lightest shade to the darkest shade. So anything from that, with the exception of black, basically. So I would do something like that. My favorite go-to actually was purple. I loved purple. I love doing a purple smoky eye, as well as what was my favorite? Blue and purple smoky eye, because we had a costume that was green, I remember, and a costume that was deep blue, and it was beautiful. So I would do a silver and a blue Smokey Eye. I'll try to put on I'll try to dig and like put photos here at the end of the video so y'all can see what I'm talking about. So anyways, yeah. This was a big discovery for me. I put it in a video, I think one of the videos here. And for this is a cream. This is a Revlon Skin Lights. Revlon Skin Lights. I don't know what shade this is in, but 730. It's in shade 730. But I actually discovered this in Guam, you guys. When we were touring in Guam, I saw this at a department store. At a pharmacy. I saw this at a pharmacy. I bought it, and ever since then, I have loved the consistency of this. So today I'm going to be using just my finger. I'm the only one who uses this palette, so there you go. And I cleaned my hands before that. I will just usually use my finger. And in the past, you would do this as well. Like in the past when we were in a choir, when I was in a choir, I would do this as well. If there was no time, usually just use a finger to do everything. And this is cream. I hate using brushes on cream. It's like the worst thing ever. I don't know, like I just can't get used to it. Can't get used to it. I've never been used to it, and I don't think I'll ever get used to it. I don't see a purpose of getting used to it. But yeah, can you guys see that created a beautiful like base? This is matte. We created a beautiful base for that. Let's go up to here. One tip, you guys, to define your eyebrows, at least from my experience, especially if you're going on stage in front of 100 people, you want to make a separation between your eyeshadow and your eyebrows. So put it under. See how much more defined my eyebrows are now. Now that I've put this light shade of eyeshadow underneath it. So put it underneath where you want to emphasize and make that kind of like transition between your eyebrows. There is a gap there that I am annoyed about. Can you see? So yeah, just put it underneath there, and it'll illuminate that area, and it'll make that distinction. I have to bridge the gap here. I am annoyed with that. So let's make that, and voila, much better. A little bit more. Whoa. See? Much better. Now, I want to have a little like pinkish style today, so I'm going to use this one. It's kind of like pinky, kind of like goldish. Y'all know the gist. But anyways, so yeah. What was I saying before this? Anyway, so yeah, if you put your eyeshadow and you want to have that distinction still, leave a little bit here. Leave a little bit of space here where your eyes will still be defined, alright? So that's the thing. I just dab away, you know? And if you've been doing something for so long, okay, so here's like a little bit of this is where a little bit of the spiritual aspect comes from for today. Initially I wanted to do this because I wanted to show you guys how I do a winged eyeliner. And people notice I have always had a winged eyeliner because I like my eyes that shape. I like the shape that it creates when my eyes have that winged effect. So as you can see, there's a little bit of like pink on there already. I'll double it later with a darker shade. But yes, so I wanted to show you guys how to do a winged eyeliner. And I've been doing a winged eyeliner for the past 12, 13, 14, 15 years. I graduated college 12 years ago, 13, 14. So the past 15 years since I was in choir. I've been doing it freehand since then. And this is a great illusion as to, as to when it comes to spirituality. It's a great, it's something that'll really help you when it comes to spirituality, because a lot of people tend to, especially when they're manifesting something, right? They tend to quit without persisting first. And I wanted to show you guys that, I wanted to do the eyeliner. By the way, this is my eyeliner, Caroline. It is a graph ink liner. I've been using this for the past 6 years now, I think. And I wanted to show you guys that I do a freehand winged eyeliner and tell you that I'm able to do it because I've been doing it for the past decade, So the whole point, really, the whole purpose, the whole point of me going around and saying that is basically the persistence really needs to be there. The constancy, the repetition always needs to be there, especially if you're manifesting something big, I have not been able, I wouldn't be able to do a freehand eyeliner if I didn't do it again and again and again and again and again, from then until now. And yes, there are days when that isn't perfect, but I'm easily able to rectify that. And that happens because I'm able to do that, and I'm able to do an eyeliner, a winged eyeliner that I like. I'm able to do that because I do it again and again and again, because I persist in it, because I repeat it, because it is a habit, So some people who are really looking to change their circumstances around them and really, really looking to manifest the big things around them, and really just focusing on, even if you're just focusing on becoming the better version of yourself, y'all need to know that this doesn't happen overnight, And now I'm going to do my freehand eyeliner. So y'all need to know that for me to be able to do this, look, I'm just doing it freehand. For me to be able to do this, I needed to do this every single time whenever we would go on stage. And that was throughout, I joined the choir when I was in second year. That was throughout my 3 years. And prior to that, you guys, I was learning voice, right? So I was enrolled in the Royal School of Music, the branch here in the Philippines, Royal School of Music. And I would have recitals where I needed to do my makeup as well. So this is a long time coming, I did not learn how to do this overnight, and rightfully so. Don't expect to, for example, be the complete version of yourself overnight, or be the better version of yourself overnight. It takes time, it takes time. So for everyone who is waiting, and I can completely resonate with this, because right now I'm being very impatient. That's probably why I prompted myself to do this video. For everyone who's waiting, y'all gotta know that the repetition is what does it. The persistence is what does it. And so you'll already have a method. As you can see, I did my own method. I just did the plain line first, and then I'm going to go in with the wing. So over the years, over the times that you keep repeating and repeating it, you'll keep refining your method. You'll keep refining your sense of self, for example. You'll keep refining who you are, who you want to be, the version of yourself. You'll keep refining that. You'll continue to do that again and again until it becomes a habit to you, until your manifestation comes, until your manifestation comes and stays with you. So that's the thing. It's not an overnight thing. So now I'm going to do the wing. And I've already estimated, because of the years that I've been doing this, I've already estimated that this is shorter than this. So I'm going to fix this later. I'll do the wing first. But see, if I hadn't done this over the couple of years, I would never know where to start. I would always have to struggle, but now I don't struggle as much. And there is your first winged eyeliner. First wing, rather. So there is my second wing. Wait, it's kind of drying out a little bit. But as you can see, it's more or less all right. I didn't have to use any tools like the Scotch tape, like, I don't know, like a lot of the, in the past, you guys, there weren't any, what do you call that? I forget what you call that. But like stencils. There weren't any stencils for eyebrows, for eyeliner, you know, like those things didn't exist in the past. So everyone who is in a choir, everyone who is a performer will know how to do a winged eyeliner. Well, the women at least, or those who naturally wear a winged eyeliner, will know how to do this, will know the struggle of it. And I can already tell that I'm going to have to clean this up a little bit. But there you go. So I have to clean that a little bit or fill it in. I'm going to fill it in. I want like a big eyeliner moment today. So there. Yeah, repetition. It's all about repetition, you guys. You'll only be able to breeze through something or like be something if you continuously do it. If you continue to do it regardless of what's being presented to you, especially if you're manifesting something, right? So continue to do it. Continue to practice like what I've been doing these past few years with my eyeliner. There you go. I got it already. And so, for everyone who's struggling, now I put the darker shade. For everyone who's struggling when they're manifesting something big, remember this video. You know, remember this video. Again, I'm going to repeat it to you. I wouldn't be here making freehand eyeliner, like being able to do free-handed eyeliner in under 5 minutes, doing it correctly, if I wasn't practicing it continuously in the past. All right? So y'all need to do the same with the other areas of your life. If you want to be the new version of yourself, then practice that every day. If you want a beautiful life, then practice that every day. Consciously practice that every day, you know, until it becomes part of you, until it becomes so ingrained in you. You know, I'm able to do this eyeliner even in the dark, you guys. I can't guarantee that it's going to be perfect, you know, as this one, but I can tell you that it's going to be really close. Because again, I've been doing it again and again. And that is something that we all need to understand. When it comes to spirituality, your consistency, your commitment to yourself matters. When it comes to manifesting, your commitment to yourself matters. It's what gets you the stuff, you know. It's what gets you from point A to point B. It's what gets you to be, you know, just overall, it's what gets you to be, what was I going to say? To be, well, consistent. Consistency gets you to be consistent with yourself, basically. There you go. I'm pretty happy with my eyes right now. I mean, that's a lot. This is probably what I would do for a daytime look when it comes to the stage. I know y'all can't see because this is a different camera. This is not an HD camera. It's just a camera from my I got lapses. Camera from my computer. But in person, it's already pretty thick. I've laid it on pretty thick, so that would be enough. But still, it's a daytime look. So yeah. Then for blush, we would usually, you know, in the past there wasn't a lot of cream blush, but now I'm really happy there's a lot of cream blush. But I won't be using cream blush today. Just to segue that. Right now I love using cream blush because it really stays, especially when we have a mask on. I do both actually. I put a little bit of powder and then I put a little bit of cream so that it makes sure that it stays there. You know? So I'm going to use the NARS. I used this earlier. The NARS Blush Bronzer Duo in Orgasm and in Laguna. Here in the Philippines, it's Laguna. Laguna bronzing powder. I use the bronzing powder as a darker shade for my eyeshadow. And so I would put that on the temples here, and I go all the way up to here. It makes a difference when you go all the way up to here. It really kind of lifts your face, especially if you're going on stage. It lifts your face a lot like that than if I were to just put it like just there, you know. So it lifts my face a lot because my face is it has a tendency of becoming saggy when it comes to the stage because my face is round. And so I don't know what alchemy is going on there, but probably lighting, but it does have that tendency. It sags a little bit. So I need to lift it up, you know, make them see that I'm actually perky on stage. Oh, I love that. So yeah. And I always put on sculpting bronzer because also from the stage, it's not that I don't like my circle face shape, my round face shape, right? But there's kind of like, there are certain face shapes that really enhance your appearance, you know? I'm fine with who I am, I'm fine with who I look, but I also like playing with the different kinds of appearances that I can make myself look like, you know? And I love makeup, you know? Like, most women do. Most women love makeup, even if they just put it on for themselves. That's what I usually do. I just put it on for myself. I put it off, I put it on. So now I'm using the By Mario, I think I'm going to sneeze. Okay, I just finished sneezing, I'm sorry. So this is the By Mario Medium Dark Soft Sculpt Bronzer. I wanted to get a smaller version of this because y'all know I love to finish my products, but I've been using it a lot. I think I'm going to be able to finish this. So yeah, I will put this bronzer over here. There. You see it already creates the divide. And I would go all the way, from here, all the way down here, and then here. I do the classic number 3 because, again, on stage, that is what I'm used to. So I do this makeup, the number 3, this entire routine I do this as a base, and then the difference is just how thick I would put it on. If it was for daytime makeup or nighttime makeup, or, you know, if I am doing a performance, if I am doing a vlog like this, because I tend to notice that with vlogs, with the camera, the makeup really fades. Like, this looks normal, right, to you guys. But if you see me in person, this is pretty thick. I packed it on like pretty thick. And one of the things that I learned, actually, is to make the blush, is to make either your foundation or your bronzer go all the way up to your scalp so that there is no distinction. Like, you can see clearly, that is a distinction. So, but I'll hide that with hair. So that there's no distinction between this and this, right? So you'll want to kind of like go up until there, as far up there as you can, so that it's all homogeneous. Your face is homogeneous, if that makes any sense. And there you go. I think I want to put a little bit of the Mario as well up here, because it's just a pretty shade, and it makes it look darker. Just a little of it. So I'm mixing the cream and the powder together. I will usually use like the outside parts because those are the parts that usually do not get touched. When you have a brush, you won't usually go for the outer rim. You will usually go for the inner rim, but we're not about wasting product here. We're about using all of it, and I mean all of it, so that you don't waste it, so you get your money's worth, so that you don't waste, you know, anything. And there we go. If we want a nose, like sculpt your nose, I would just usually do that. a little bit more. I would do that. For stage, I would go all the way up here. If let's say, for example, if we were doing a performance where it was maybe a lot of people, where it was probably 100, anywhere from 200 to 500 people, you would need to do really thick makeup. Like, you'd really see lines, delineations everywhere. But today we'll try doing like a little, kind of like just light looking here. So there, we have like a more sculpted nose. I usually will do this with my hand as well. There, just a little bit of a sculpted nose like that. And the men would always do makeup as well too. It's not just the women. I mean, for major, we always used to say, in the choir, we always used to say, oiliness is next to ugliness. And that holds true because whenever you're oily on stage, like dewy is not something you want normally on stage, right? Because when the light hits you, it will reflect so much back that they won't be able to see your face. So that's where it comes from. So because of that, the men would also need to put on makeup. So they'd always ask for help from us. But it came to the point where the guys would just have their own makeup kit. Like, the gays would have all of their makeup down pat, but the straight ones, usually, our straight guys in the group, would just usually have their powder, a compact powder, a little bit of blush, because you are going to look so pale on stage. Like, you're going to look lifeless on stage if you don't have rouge on your cheeks. And a little bit like some sort of a lip stain for them as well. That was like the basic for everyone, for all the men, women, our gays as well. I don't think we had a lesbian in our choir. I don't think so. Did we? During my time, none. We didn't have any lesbians in our... We did have a lot of gays, though. And I'm really close to my gay friends. And shout out to all my gay friends. I have family who are gay and lesbian. So they hold a special place in my heart. I myself am straight, but I seem to be like surrounded with a lot of beautiful LGBTQ++, LGBTQA++ people around me, and I'm so grateful for that because they're one of my closest friends, and they do take care of me a lot. And they tell me when I'm pretty or not, so I always trust their judgment all the time. And so they would always have something like a little bit of a lip tint, it's faded, but this is human nature. So before I top it all off, I always put some sort of lip balm underneath as a barrier. Especially if you're singing, your lips are going to get chafed. Let me tell you that. Like, chafe, you name it. I will usually put that before I put my lipstick. Now, I don't know what lips I'm going to do, although that one had a little bit of tint. Maybe we'll do Teviant. Let's see. I kind of want to do like, not really a pinkish situation, but more of like a brownish situation. Hold on. Let me get my other tints. Alright, it took me a while to find my favorites. These, when it comes to a neutral palette, meaning when I say neutral, I also am referring to something that's applicable for daytime, right? Or like, in this case, I'll be recording videos for y'all. So when it comes to that, I usually, my favorites, my go-tos are the NYX series. So I have NYX Liquid Suede. Then this is in, I forget, Soft Spoken. And this is in Can. Yes, it's in Can. So I'm never without these two. These are my two staples. It's getting more difficult to find this NYX. I love this shade. And a lot of people do love this shade as well. Please continue to make this shade. It is the best shade ever. Now, usually, daytime, I will just use this. Nighttime, I will just use this. This is darker. And you'll see, this is darker than the, soft-spoken is darker than Can. So this is the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Can. This is the NYX Liquid Liquid Suede in Soft Spoken. So what I'll do now is, my trick, I will use this as a lip liner. Meaning, I'll go around, and I have a Cupid's bow. I have a very pronounced Cupid's bow. I'll just follow it, basically. So y'all can see, I am using the applicator, the kind of like the semi-doe foot applicator. I don't think it's a full doe foot. It doesn't look like a full doe foot. But I'll just follow. I'm not overlining. I'm just lining my natural lip. That is my original, that is my natural Cupid's bow. And what I do is, just do that. Just wipe off the excess. And I'll do the same thing down here. And again, I'm not overlining. I'm just following the actual line. So that is, as you can see, that's a pretty dark, oh, I did overline a little bit. But I'll fix it. That's a pretty dark shade. And now I'm going to be using Can, which is lighter. And you'll be able to see the difference. So this is a doe foot applicator. Can is much lighter and pinker. And then I just mix those two together. And I will clean up the excess with my finger. My tissue's all the way over there. I'm not going to get it. And I do the same thing for red lipstick. I want my lipstick to be perfect. Every time I think of red lips, I think Dita Von Teese, and her lipstick is always perfect. So I can't not have perfect red lips. I feel like she knows. I feel like whenever anyone does a very messy red lip, she's out there like, you know, just aggravated that someone has a red lip that is not perfect. But of course, that's just me thinking. Because your lipstick is always perfect. But yeah, so okay, I apparently need a tissue. Hold on. And there we have it. That is the look for the day. Yeah, that is a look for the day. Thank you so much for getting ready with me. You're going to see this face, this made-up face, in some of the videos for this week, now that I have my face on, right? Just another note, see how oily my face is? This is natural dew. We put a lot of powder earlier today, you guys, and if you see me in person, you're going to see that it's a natural dew. And to everyone who has an oily face, don't fight it. You know, to every Asian, I know a lot of Asians can relate to this because it's pretty natural for us to, like, it's pretty default for us to have like oily faces, especially if you're from Southeast Asia. I'm a Filipina, proud Filipino, from Southeast Asia, born and raised in Southeast Asia, right? Don't fight it. Let it work for you. Similar to energy, don't fight it. Let it work for you. And the whole point, really, but it was just a snippet, the whole point, really, of today was to show you that I'm able to do this makeup because I've been doing it for so long. And I'm able to do it very quickly because I've been doing it for so long, although this video is pretty long. But, yeah, so I'm able to do it very easily and very quickly because I've been doing it for such a long time, because of the repetition, because of the persistence, because I continuously do it again and again and again, right? That I can do it in the dark, I can do it like really quickly, I can do it really slow if I wanted to, you know. But that's the thing. when you're on your journey, you need to have repetition. You need to do it consistently. You need to be persistent about it. You need to do it again and again and again before you reach that stage where you can say that I'm comfortable enough to say that this is perfect. You know, I'm comfortable enough to say that this way of doing things, or like, I'm comfortable enough to say that my manifestation is here, you know? It's the energy of the repetition, it's the energy of the persistence and doing things over and over again that'll make things easier for you, especially if you're consciously manifesting something. You'll be able to receive your manifestation faster, and you'll be able to keep it once you realize that the reason why you're doing it is because you're becoming it, right? It's not just something you do and then you get your manifestation, then you stop doing it. No. It's something that you do in order to prepare for yourself to do it over and over again every day of your life. So what am I talking about? It's kind of like, for example, if you're needing money, if you're wanting money, you put yourself in the living in the end of already having money, and you receive the money, right? After you receive the money, it's not like you're going to go back to the old mindset of being, of not having money, right? You do it again and again so that you get your manifestation, then you keep it, and then that's your new self. You don't go back. That is who you are now. From a person who doesn't have money, from a person who thought of not having money, from a person who is desperate to have money, who changed their mindset about it, right? Received their manifestation, and is now living the life of a person who has it every single day. And you do that by repetition. You do that with persistence every single day. Eyeliner, I'm able to do it freehand because I did it. I used to do it every single day. Even when I worked every single day, people would wonder why I had winged eyeliner on every day. And then they would start to ask me, how do you do it? I'm like, I just do it freehand. But then they asked me to, isn't it difficult? I was like, yeah, at first, but like, I can even do it in my sleep now, because every single day, and I always get the result that I want every single day. So that's the whole point. And thank you for getting ready with me. I hope this was insightful. I hope it was fun at the very least, you know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, suggestions, you want to say, hey, please do comment them down below. If you would like to receive notifications of my new videos, please hit the subscribe button over there. And if you would like your very own tarot reading or Reiki healing session with me, online for now, of course, here are the details. And that's it. Stay happy, stay healthy. See you guys next time. Maybe we'll try, let me try to see if I still remember how to do a Smokey Eye from the past. And if I have photos of my choir days, I'll show them here. If not, then this video will just end. So just watch out. Bye.